The whole world was watching, not a final, not a semifinal, not even a knockout match. This was the first week of the World Cup, the stage where tournaments are supposed to build excitement, the stage where fans fall in love with new stories. The stage where FIFA wants everything to look perfect. Instead, millions of viewers found themselves staring at the same replay and arriving at the exact same conclusion. That player is offside. The attacker appeared beyond the last defender. The television cameras showed it. The fans in the stadium saw it. The commentators saw it, the pundits saw it, and perhaps most importantly, social media saw it. Then came the decision. VAR checked the incident, the review took longer than expected, the stadium screens confirmed a check was underway. The tension grew, everyone waited for the answer. Then the verdict arrived. Onside, penalty confirmed, goal scored, and that is where FIFA's nightmare truly began, because football supporters can accept controversial decisions, they always have. Referees make mistakes, officials miss things, arguments happen, that's football. What supporters struggle to accept is when the evidence never appears. Normally, modern football has a solution for this. The calibrated offside line, the graphic, the technology, the image that settles arguments. Every weekend across Europe's biggest leagues, viewers see it. A replay appears. Colored lines are drawn, the decision becomes clear. Whether fans agree or not, at least they can see the evidence. This time they couldn't. The line never appeared, not in the United States, not in Britain, not in Spain, not anywhere. Millions of people were told the decision was correct, but nobody was shown why. That single moment transformed a refereeing debate into a trust debate, and trust is far harder to recover, because once people begin questioning transparency, every future decision becomes suspect. The incident occurred during Qatar versus Switzerland, a match that should have been remembered for football. Instead, it became the center of a global argument. Swiss striker Breel Embolo stepped up to take the penalty. The foul itself wasn't really the issue. Most people agreed there was contact. Most people agreed the goalkeeper made a mistake. The problem came before that. The build-up appeared to show Remo Freuler standing beyond the defensive line. At least that's what millions of viewers believed. And because the evidence never appeared, that belief spread unchecked. Within minutes, social media exploded. Fans weren't debating whether the decision was close. Many weren't debating at all. They were convinced. The verdict online became almost unanimous. Something didn't look right. And when large groups of football supporters all arrive at the same conclusion, the story develops a momentum of its own. Then came the pundits. And this is where things became truly uncomfortable for FIFA. Gary Neville publicly questioned why the offside graphic had not been shown. Ian Wright asked exactly the same question, both focused on the same issue, not the decision itself, the transparency, because FIFA wasn't simply the tournament organizer. FIFA was also the host broadcaster, meaning FIFA controlled the technology. FIFA controlled the evidence, and FIFA controlled what viewers could see. That combination immediately created suspicion. Supporters began asking uncomfortable questions. If the technology exists, where is it? If the evidence is clear, why hide it? If the decision is correct, why not prove it? Those questions spread across the football world faster than FIFA could answer them, and then FIFA responded, roughly 3 hours later. The explanation? A technical failure. According to FIFA, the semi-automated offside system functioned correctly. The review process worked correctly. The officials received the correct information. The problem was supposedly limited to the broadcast graphic. In other words, the technology worked. The visual proof didn't. FIFA even released images afterward. Images intended to prove the call had been correct all along, but by then the damage had already been done, because timing matters. Evidence delivered during a live controversy calms people down. Evidence delivered hours later often does the opposite. It feels reactive, it feels defensive, and sometimes it feels incomplete. Whether that perception is fair doesn't really matter. Perception becomes reality during major sporting events, especially events watched by billions. The bigger issue wasn't the technical explanation. The bigger issue was context. This controversy didn't happen in isolation. It arrived during a week already filled with criticism. Ticket pricing complaints, questions about empty seats, travel restrictions, supporter frustrations, administrative controversies, one issue after another. Each one adding another layer of skepticism. Each one making people slightly less willing to trust official explanations. So when FIFA asked supporters to trust them one more time, many simply refused, not because they knew the decision was wrong, but because they no longer felt confident the organization had earned the benefit of the doubt. And that may be the most damaging consequence of all. Football fans can forgive mistakes. They struggle to forgive lost trust. Because once trust disappears, every future controversy becomes larger than it otherwise would have been. Every decision becomes suspicious. Every explanation becomes questioned. Every statement becomes debated. That's exactly where FIFA now finds itself, not fighting a single refereeing controversy, fighting a credibility crisis. The football itself remains excellent. The drama remains compelling, the tournament remains fascinating, yet somehow the biggest story isn't happening on the pitch, it's happening around it, and for FIFA that's the nightmare. Not that one decision caused controversy, but that millions of people immediately assumed the worst. The most important thing to understand about this controversy is that it didn't start with the offside line. The offside line was simply the spark. The fire had already been burning, long before Qatar played Switzerland, long before Breel Embolo stepped up to the penalty spot. Long before social media exploded, the warning signs were already everywhere. And that's what makes this story so dangerous for FIFA, because organizations rarely collapse under the weight of a single mistake. They collapse when dozens of small problems begin connecting together. One controversy becomes two, two become five. Five become a pattern, and once people start seeing a pattern, every new incident reinforces it. That is exactly what happened during the opening days of this World Cup. Let's start with the ticket prices. For months, supporters complained about costs, not just expensive tickets, exceptionally expensive tickets. Many ordinary football fans looked at the prices and reached a simple conclusion. This tournament wasn't designed for them. The World Cup has always been expensive, but supporters traditionally accepted that reality because attending a World Cup is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. This felt different. Many fans argued that prices had crossed a line. Instead of maximizing atmosphere, critics believed FIFA was maximizing revenue. And whether that criticism was fair or unfair, it gained traction. Because football supporters care deeply about authenticity. They want stadiums filled with passionate fans, not corporate guests, not hospitality packages. Not empty premium seats. Real supporters, the people who create atmosphere, the people who travel thousands of miles, the people who sing for 90 minutes, the people who turn football matches into unforgettable events. Then came the attendance questions. Official attendance numbers appeared impressive. On paper, everything looked healthy. But television broadcasts told a more complicated story. Several matches showed visible empty sections, not empty stadiums. Nobody was claiming that, but enough empty seats to trigger discussion, enough empty seats to make viewers ask questions, enough empty seats to create headlines. FIFA offered explanations. Many seats belonged to hospitality packages. Some supporters were in concourse areas, others arrived late, all perfectly reasonable possibilities. Yet once again, the issue wasn't really about the explanation. It was about trust, because people increasingly questioned whether official narratives matched what they were seeing with their own eyes. And once that doubt appears, it spreads. The cameras become evidence, every broadcast becomes evidence, every crowd shot becomes evidence, every attendance announcement becomes evidence. Suddenly, football fans weren't just watching matches, they were investigating them, searching for confirmation, looking for proof. Trying to determine whether reality matched the official story, that is never a position a governing body wants to be in. Then things became worse. Travel restrictions entered the conversation. Supporters from various countries reported difficulties. Some struggled with documentation. Others faced unexpected complications. Several stories circulated online. Some were verified, others weren't. But together they created another layer of uncertainty. Again, the details almost became secondary. What mattered was perception. And perception increasingly moved in one direction, away from confidence, towards skepticism. Then came one of the most damaging incidents of all, a World Cup referee. Not a supporter, not a journalist, not a tourist, a referee selected for the tournament itself. Someone chosen by FIFA, someone approved by FIFA, someone expected to work FIFA matches. And yet that official reportedly faced entry complications. The story spread rapidly because it felt symbolic. If a FIFA referee could face problems entering the tournament, what did that say about everyone else? The incident quickly became another brick in a growing wall of criticism. And that's the phrase that matters, a growing wall. Because no single controversy was devastating by itself. But together they created momentum, negative momentum, the kind that becomes increasingly difficult to reverse. Think about how public opinion works. People don't evaluate every incident independently. They connect them, they build narratives, they search for patterns. If one strange thing happens, most people ignore it. If 5 strange things happen, they start paying attention. If 10 strange things happen, they start assuming future problems before they occur. That's exactly where FIFA found itself entering the Qatar-Switzerland controversy. The organization had already spent days defending itself, already spent days explaining itself, already spent days responding to criticism. So when the offside graphic disappeared, supporters didn't evaluate the incident in isolation. They evaluated it through the lens of everything that had already happened. And that changed everything. A technical glitch under normal circumstances might have been accepted immediately. A technical glitch during a credibility crisis becomes something else. It becomes suspicious. It becomes controversial. It becomes evidence, or at least that's how many supporters interpreted it. This is the fundamental challenge FIFA faces, not technology, not referees, not even attendance. The challenge is confidence. Confidence determines how people interpret information. When confidence is high, organizations receive the benefit of the doubt. When confidence is low, organizations lose it. FIFA appears to be operating in the second environment. Every explanation receives scrutiny. Every statement receives analysis. Every controversy receives amplification. That creates a dangerous cycle. Criticism produces skepticism. Skepticism produces